Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video will be about the retrograde motion of Uranus. Now, as we speak, he's stationary and he will turn retrograde on 6th of September to be retrograde 5 months. Now, Uranus entered Taurus 18th of June of 2024 and he will be in Taurus 7 years. In this video, I will describe a little bit of the nature of Uranus as retrograde. Also, this will be brief. Some of the things I will mention will be a summary of the previous videos I made on Uranus. And then we will also look at the 12 ascendants, how the retrograde energy of Uranus will influence the 12 ascendants. Now, Uranus is malefic planet. And there is a reason why he's malefic, why his energy is malefic. He's diurnal, masculine, malefic planet. So he has very specific axis of rotation, very, very tilted. He rotates backwards. And from there, he has this revolutionary, oppositionary nature. He is behind every revolution, every revolutionary act in anything, in art, in behavior, in revolutionist revolution. Why also Uranus is considered malefic? There was catastrophe in the solar system, big catastrophe, big accident, and Uranus was the main victim. The catastrophe was caused by the black sun, and as a result of the catastrophe, Uranus received a lot of the energy of the black sun. That's why his energy on us, on people, is very stable, extremely powerful, extremely until he reaches his goals. Like, he will be very stable, he will be very persistent. It is energy of persistence. Uranus also is behind all disasters, destructions, all strange actions, and he's causing disasters, disharmony, and destructive actions on the planet. Now, he is very, very powerful, influences us. He is also the highest vibration. Like, if we know that Mercury is ruling the creativity of the mind, the mental capacities, Uranus is the highest octave, highest vibration of Mercury, and as such, he is related to the god's wisdom. If Mercury is the creative mind, he is Hermes. Uranus is the god's wisdom. I will not give the examples of mythology because I did it during the last two videos I made on Uranus, and you can check them. So when he is making opposition to the sun, then he is very near us, and his influences are very, very, very powerful. Now, he, in terms of health, is ruling the nervous system in our bodies. When he's very powerful in people's horoscopes, then this person would have a very, very strong nervous system, and this person will be very driven, full with new ideas, and will certainly have specific features of the body and the face, which I am planning to discuss in the series, which I'm starting very soon, on phrenology, on physiognomology, which is science very much connected to astrology. But I will be speaking about the features which Uranus gives later on the human body. But now this is also not the subject of this conversation. Something very interesting. Uranus and Saturn together, they rule the pituitary gland. This is tiny gland in the brain, which is actually in charge of all other glands, including the pineal gland. The pituitary gland is ruled by Saturn and Uranus together, the most important gland in our body. When this gland is not in order, almost every organ in our body is suffering, including kidneys and so. So also, when Uranus is not in harmony, and especially when Uranus is in bad aspect with the moon, something very interesting is happening with some of the cells in our body. Uh, they search for freedom and they're starting own division. Own division. They go out of balance, they go out of harmony, and they're starting own division. When they do this, they can go out of shape, out of order, and they can grow in shapes which would be out of control. And sometimes this is how people develop cancer. So this is also very important, because every lack of harmony with Uranus can have impact on the nervous system, can have impact also on every organ of our body, especially when Saturn and Uranus are not in good aspects. So then the pituitary gland, who give to the body uh, signals which also will not be the right signals, and this can result in different diseases. So, saying this, we will not look at every disharmonious placement of Uranus, because this would be otherwise a very, very long conversation. Maybe I will do separate video only on bad placed or well placed Uranus, but now the subject matter is Uranus as retrograde. So when Uranus is retrograde, and when we know all that he rules, when we know that he is ruling the divine wisdom, God's wisdom, it means that the God's wisdom um, will be coming on the surface, will be seen, will be applied with lesser extent. The God's wisdom will not exist that vividly, that powerfully during the retrograde motion of Uranus. So this will mean that the objective mind will be dominant and not the God's wisdom during the time period of the retrograde motion of Uranus. Also, when he's retrograde, almost all of our activities will be happening with a more difficult pace and slower, because he's about the revolutionary act. He's about the highest lofty ideals and goals. And when this is happening, when he's retrograde, when activities in general slow down, when also our deeds, the works, the results we expect in are happening not as we expect, slow down, it means that we can apply the objective mind and become, which is more of the Saturnine, Mercurian energy, and we should really use this when the God's wisdom, the highest, the divine wisdom, will not be that present for the time being, for the period. Also, Uranus is not only the God's wisdom, he's the God's mind in general. So we have to apply, when the God's mind now will be perceived differently by us due to the retrograde motion of Uranus, we may need to be more intuitive and to apply really our objective mind. And also, to this Uranus is also, when retrograde, is about revision, revisiting our highest lofty ideals, our spirituality, if you want, the new era, the new goals we had, because he's all about the new, the revolutionary, like I told you, revolutionary in any sense, revolutionary as a revolution, but also revolutionary acts like everything which is very innovative, very new. Keep in mind that he also, being the ruler of the new, he is ruling the innovation, the new innovative systems, the technology. His low vibrational aspects would be the artificial intelligence. When retrograde, the artificial intelligence for this time being will not be that, not be the topic of the day. It will go, the interest on this and the development will go down. Also, when Uranus is ruling the Uranus, the material Uranus, it means when Uranus is retrograde, the interest in this particular resource and the price and the value will also be depriced. People who trade with Uranus, for example, need to have this in mind. He is also ruling the platinum. The platinum as subject of investment and interest, the price of platinum may go down, may for the time being. This could be interesting for people who are into that. So this is also very interesting. So basically, when the divine God's mind, the divine God's wisdom is not that present, we need to um, apply intuition and our objective mind. This is for sure. Um, so saying this, what else I wanted to say in my introduction on the retrograde motion of Uranus? Of course, because he's so much about the new, and because right now on the sky we see Uranus Saturn square. Since Uranus is in Taurus and Saturn is in Aquarius, this means that the Saturn in energy, and Saturn is more powerful as he is in Aquarius, but he is ruled by Uranus because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. It is interesting battle. They are in a battle also mythologically. And for the time being, the more traditional values, the more classical will take over. Because now you see these conflicts, and people, of course, very understandable, are not accepting the extremes of the, new era, the extremes, which I will not mention in this video, but you know what I mean, the extremes about about the sexuality of people and the multiple sexual. These are extremes which are caused by the low vibrations of Uranus. And when Uranus is retrograde, could be that for the time being, uh, the more traditional values will come back and will take over. So this is one of the features of Uranus as retrograde. I don't see him as so bad retrograde, but we need to understand his energies and apply them properly. Um, yes, if something else comes into my mind, because there are many things, I will of course mention it. And now briefly, we can look at the 12 ascendants and how the retrograde motion for the next 5 months will be influencing the 12 ascendants. Actually, yes, I forgot to mention something. See, something very important. Before I speak about the 12 ascendants, let me not forget and tell you. It is about the place of his retrograde motion when he becomes retrograde. He's stationary now in the 3rd degree of Sidereal Taurus, right in the Pleiades. These are the 7 sisters on the sky, 7 witches, very important nebula. This is the place where the moon is exalted, extremely magical, extremely powerful for every era, also for our era. Also, Uranus is stationary now there, and there is where he becomes retrograde. This is emphasis on this point. This is a little bit malefic. Malefic also because in ancient Babylon, this particular place what we call now Pleiades. In my culture, we call them the seven hands, and they are not considered malefic. Also, I know in the Arab culture they are not considered malefic, but in the Babylonian culture, these were the seven Subitu, six actually, they are six Subitu demons which would serve Nergal, who is Mars. They are like his weapons. One of the weapon would be hatred, the other one would be uh, evil features of the human beings, would be represented by these Subitu demons. So Uranus is kind of emphasizing on that. It is like revising our moral values, our behaviors. Otherwise, this is malefic a bit, this particular placement in Taurus. Taurus is about money. This is not very good for the finances, of the world. Can have impact on, mm, on the markets. Also, these are the seven hands. I recently. What they're trying to do is to destroy the farms of people. They come up with all these scam stories about diseases on chicken, and I don't like that Uranus is turning retrograde right in the seven hands. Because if in your culture the seven hands wouldn't be seven hands but will be seven sisters, still symbolically on the Balkans, these are seven hands. So here we could have crisis with another scam story around disease on chicken. In general, Taurus is about the bull, the celestial bull. These are the cows. This can have impact on the farms of people, not in a good way. Food crisis and stuff. They can try at least to impose some fake diseases and stuff. It depends on us how far we allow this to take place. So this is another thing. Then yes, it is the second house of zodiac. It is about family roots. So yes, I believe this retrograde motion will make some people to revisit their family roots, to pay more respect to ancestors, family parents, family roots, and of course financially. If we were very, let's say, impulsive in making financial decisions, maybe when he becomes retro, we will be a little bit more. We'll apply the objective mind also on that. Uranus is malefic planet, but also not, because this is God's mind. This is God's wisdom. How malefic this can be? It cannot be. It depends how we perceive these energies. So saying this, let me start briefly with the 12 ascendants. This is always brief when I look at the 12 ascendants, because we need to see how Uranus is placed in your horoscope. What is the aspect he makes to the moon, so that we can see how your health is, how your nervous system would be, how your, in general, your health, your connection with the spirit world, and so very important is how Uranus is placed in your horoscope. But just in general, for people who have sidereal ascendant Aries or moon in Aries, or if you're following the tropical modern astrology, this is Taurus. For you, Uranus is turning retrograde in the second house of yours. Indeed, he can cause changes and revision of your finances. Also, he can make you revisit family roots in general. He can make you revisit your traditional roots, and this is certainly for good. Jupiter is also there, but he's in the 25th degree, where you have the star Rigel. Jupiter is financially supportive. Uranus certainly is showing, is making you revisit this, like what I tell you, your family, financial decisions, business, and so. So this is maybe time for reconsideration, revisiting your business decisions, and most important, visiting also family. Now, people who have sidereal sun in Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Gemini. This what is happening on your ascendant may have impact on your decisions, on going back, revisiting your goals, ideas, and this can have impact on your career situation, housing, um, even finances. He's trining Venus, which is now in a Virgo, so it can have impact on almost everything. Even you can say, oh, I am going to, now my haircut is like that, I will go back to my previous haircut, or I'm going to my previous image or hairstyle, or because he's all about the original, and now he's bringing you back to the past. But in general, he will be about changing a lot. um, if he is already involved in changes related to your career, now he makes you revisit, slowing down. You may experience a little bit of slowdown in many activities, which is not for bad. It is time to reconsider. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini. If you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Cancer. For you, Uranus is turning retrograde in the third degrees of Taurus in your 12th house. This is to, maybe reconsider, and in the sense of enemies. Like, let's say you had challenges with some people, you can revisit this, fix some relationships. In terms of health, watch out a little bit, be careful, because he may bring up condition from before which you may need to fix. Study, very good. A remedy for you is really to do good things for others from your heart. Like, do things for others, help the poor, help the sick. This is a very good remedy, and be responsible for your health. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer. If you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Leo. For you, Uranus becomes retrograde in your 11th house in the third degree of Taurus. This is your 11th house. Be a little bit more attentive with children. You may have the chance to revisit friendship, let's say, or he can worsen a little bit friendship. So be a little bit, yeah, diplomatic there. He may also change or slow down financial projects. He may have a little bit negative impact on finances, but don't worry so much. It won't be extreme because Jupiter is there, because of the moment of his beginning of retrograde motion. The Sun is in Leo in your second house, but still be a little bit careful. Now we have people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo. If you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Virgo. For you, the retrograde motion of Uranus will take place on your 10th house. Now, for you, this certainly will have impact on your career. Eventually, a little bit of slowdown. So, these 5 months to come, be very diplomatic and careful. Every negotiation, discussion, relationship with superiors, be a little bit careful. Also, be careful with partners, romantic partner, business partners. There, watch out a little bit. Financially, not so much to worry about. It is more about career developments, new projects. Some slowdown is possible. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo, moon in Virgo, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this would be Libra. For you, Uranus is turning retrograde on your 9th house. So eventually slow down in studies, but maybe for good. Maybe you can revisit some knowledge. Maybe some connections, like long distance connections may suffer a little bit. Be diplomatic there, be careful. But with studies, make sure that you try to apply, your objective mind, like we said, and try to apply the Saturnine discipline if you want, related to study, especially. This is very important. Um, Also, in terms of travel, watch out a little bit, especially in the beginning of his 5 month cycle. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Scorpio. For you, Uranus is on your eighth house. There he's turning retrograde. This may delay finances from unexpected sources. Finances via court cases, finances via partnerships, all finances which are not very traditional, finances of your partner may have some delay eventually. He may also, mainly financially, watch out a little bit that you remain very, positive, that he doesn't awaken some fears or worries. But in general, I see his impact on you more financial, which could be good time to revisit agreements, to revisit deals, and so. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio. If you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Sagittarius. For you, Uranus is becoming retrograde in your seventh house in Taurus, third degree. This can have impact on relationships, agreements. This may a little bit bring disharmony in your relationship. Be diplomatic, be careful. Diplomacy can fix things. Also, agreements with people, contracts, there you may have delay or some disharmony. Also, there, be careful. These are the main areas. Career wise, a little bit, he can cause you slow down, but you will be careful. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius. If you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Capricorn. Now for you, Uranus is becoming retrograde in your sixth house. Um, Now this is he's also with your ascendant ruler with Jupiter. Watch out a little bit for your health. He may bring you back to conditions that you still have to, um, you know, recover from, or conditions from before. So make sure that you take good care of your health. He may bring eventually some disputes, disharmony in your routine environment, in your job, in your career place. Watch out also there a little bit. In general, he will bring you maybe to more traditional atmosphere in your relationships, in your career place, but mainly, be responsible for your health, not with worries and fears. Just make sure that you maintain healthy lifestyle, especially emotional. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn. If you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Aquarius. For you, Uranus is aspecting you from fifth house. He is becoming retrograde there. He may bring you back to old love stories, old, which actually is a little bit disharmonious because of his face and energy. He also can have impact for good on creative knowledge, like you can revisit precious information, precious study. He can bring you back to talented work, something that you abandoned before and now you can revisit. So he can actually have slowed down on the changes which are already taking place in your life, related to pleasure, to talent, to creative knowledge, also to money. There you may need to revisit things. He may also slow down, and also be attentive with children. But in general, this is the house of the good fortune, so he will not be destructive on you. And I will look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this is Pisces. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is now on your fourth house. Fourth house. Um, and he is turning retrograde there. So be attentive and careful, and give attention to your parents. Um, when retrograde, he may slow down deals related to property, to real estate. Your own plans can be slowed down a little bit. Make sure that you're very disciplined with the discipline of Saturn. Very careful, things will be well. Also, be a little bit more responsible to your health in the meantime. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Aries. Now, Pisces, for you, Uranus is becoming retrograde on your third house, and he is related to travel, to communication, to studies. There you may have small delay, small obstacles. So make sure that you arrange everything in a very disciplined way. When you communicate or negotiate, make sure that you're very well prepared. Um, this is important. In terms of brothers and sisters, make sure that you don't allow disharmony in your communication with them, because this is also possible, to happen. But these are the main issues that you may eventually face. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was about the 12 ascendants. In the meantime, don't forget that it is all about the divine mind, the divine wisdom, which for some reason we will not be able to go to. The Creator will apply it. We will not be able to apply it. And if we want to do so, certainly we have to remain very spiritual, very intuitive. Um, and so I hope this was interesting for you. See you very soon. All the best.